7 months earlier, the phone rang at 2 in the morning. Mom's voice cracked through the static, trembling and wet with tears. "We're losing the house, Emma. Your father made mistakes." I sat in my car, parked behind the hospital, still wearing scrubs from a double shift. The rain hammered the windshield like the world was ending outside. "How much?" I asked, already knowing I would say yes. $325,000, she whispered, ashamed but expectant. That number lodged in my throat like glass. It was everything I had been saving to start over. I had just broken up with Daniel, after 3 years of building a life that wasn't mine. He said I cared more about work than us. Maybe he was right. I was tired of needing anyone, so I became their lifeline instead. I picked up every extra shift the hospital offered. I worked nights, weekends, holidays, until my back screamed for mercy. I ate ramen, canceled my dental insurance, sold my grandmother's jewelry. All to save a house that wasn't even mine. Dad said he'd handle the paperwork. Mom promised they'd pay me back when things stabilized. But things never stabilized. Dad kept gambling, calling it short-term risk for long-term gain. Mom kept decorating, pretending we were still a perfect family online. 2, my brother, opened a bar with my inheritance and closed it 6 months later. He smiled through every failure, and they still called him their golden boy. They posted pictures on Facebook, family triumph over hard times. Underneath, champagne glasses clinked above the caption, "We did it together." I stared at that photo during a 3 a.m. lunch break, numb. They celebrated with my exhaustion. They toasted with my money. The next day, I asked Dad about refinancing. He waved it off, said the bank wouldn't approve it. So I researched property law on my own. I learned about quitclaim deeds, ownership transfers, and trust. Trust, the word that kept burning. I printed the forms, filled them carefully, triple-checked every line. Then I brought them home, smiling. "It's just for tax purposes," I told Mom. She hesitated, pen hovering over the paper. "This will keep the house safe under my name until we fix the credit," I said. She sighed, tired but relieved. Her signature flowed across the page. Dad didn't even read it, just asked, "Will this help us sell later?" I nodded, lying through my teeth. That night, I sat alone in my car, the deed glowing on my passenger seat. The rain had stopped, but the world still felt heavy. I told myself it wasn't revenge. It was protection. Maybe one day they'd thank me. Maybe one day they'd understand what it cost. But deep down I knew. They wouldn't. And someday, when the lies caught up to them, that signature would be the only thing keeping me from losing everything again. The house is empty now. My breath echoes in rooms that once held laughter and fights, and Sunday mornings. I walk through each space, numb, tracing memories like crime scenes. Every shelf, every drawer stripped bare. Even the shower curtain is gone. I sink to the floor, my knees against the cold wood, trying to breathe. A single envelope lies beside me, mocking in its stillness. Mom's handwriting dances across it like a scar. "Thanks for fixing our credit, loser." I laugh once, sharp and hollow. They didn't just leave me. They erased me. My phone buzzes, cutting through the silence. A text from an unknown number. "Congratulations on your property listing at 421 Oakview Lane." My stomach twists. I open my email, fingers trembling. Attached, photos of my home, staged for sale, bright and sterile. The listing price reads $450,000. My name isn't anywhere on the paperwork, but I know it's mine. The deed I filed months ago says so. The walls tilt, the room spins. They tried to sell my house. They tried to sell me out of existence. I grab the phone, call the realtor listed in the email. Her voice is smooth, polite, detached. "Yes, the sellers are Diane and Jack Tran," she says. "There seems to be some confusion," I manage to say. "I'm the owner. the deed's in my name. A pause stretches across the line. We'll verify that immediately. When the call ends, I stare at the empty room again. It's not just emptiness anymore. It's clarity. They thought they were clever. They thought I'd be too broken to notice. But they forgot who paid the bills, who worked every night until her hands shook. The next morning, a knock at the door startles me. It's Mrs. My neighbor. She holds a cardboard box close to her chest. I saw them leaving, she says softly. Middle of the night, a truck full of furniture. She opens the box. Family photos, old frames, a ceramic bird from Mom's shelf. I took these. I knew something wasn't right. Tears sting my eyes for the first time. Not sadness, gratitude. She pats my hand. They told everyone you were moving to Texas. I laugh again, this time bitter. When she leaves, I spread the documents across the floor. Emails, mortgage statements, the deed with my signature. I build a paper fortress around me, proof that I exist. My phone rings again. The realtor's assistant confirms what I already know. The property title lists only you as owner. The sale has been frozen. I thank her, voice steady now. For the first time in months, I feel control. My heart still aches, but beneath the pain grows something new. A seed of resolve. They thought they could rob me blind. But they underestimated the girl who saved them. The house is mine. And this time, I won't let anyone take it again. The first night alone in the empty house feels endless. The air is cold, the silence heavier than walls. I try to sleep on the floor, but the echoes of betrayal keep me awake. Every creak of the wood sounds like a memory I can't bury. By dawn, exhaustion wins for an hour, no more. When sunlight spills through bare windows, I make a decision. If this house is mine, it will look like it. I start with the locks. The old ones carried their fingerprints, their keys, their lies. The new ones click shut with a clean, final sound. That sound feels like breathing after drowning. Next, I paint the living room. The walls used to be beige, safe, forgettable. Now they turn seafoam green under the roller, calm and alive. Paint drips on my wrists, my knees ache, but I keep going. The color reminds me of the Oregon coast, where I once escaped to think. Each stroke rewrites a chapter of this house's story. I hang my nursing license, where their wedding photo used to be. For years, I let their image define this space. Now it's mine. In the afternoon, Jennifer from the hospital arrives with bags of takeout. Behind her, Mike carries an air mattress, and Emma holds a small lamp. We brought reinforcements, Jennifer says, smiling wide. The smell of noodles and fried rice fills the air. We eat sitting on the floor, laughing about the chaos of night shifts. For the first time, the house doesn't feel haunted. It feels human again. After they leave, I walk through every room slowly. Empty still, yes, but no longer hollow. I can almost see what it could become, a place of peace, not pain. My phone buzzes with messages from family. Stop being dramatic. Come to Texas and talk like an adult. I delete them all without reading further. They don't get to have my attention anymore. I owe them nothing. Later that night, I open every window. The wind smells like rain and freedom. The house breathes with me, creaking softly, alive again. I find a forgotten candle in my bag and light it. The flicker dances against the new walls, fragile but steady. I whisper to the empty space, "We survived." It sounds foolish, but it's true. The next morning, I walk to the hardware store and buy tools. Curtains, shelves, light bulbs, things that belong to me. Every nail I hammer feels like reclaiming a heartbeat. Mrs. Mai waves from her porch, handing me a potted fern. "New beginnings," she says. I smile, meaning it. At night, I lie on the air mattress, the fern beside me, the house quiet. I close my eyes, listening to the soft hum of belonging. It's not comfort yet, not home, not completely. But it's the first step. The first time I've chosen to stay, not for them, only for me. Weeks pass, and the quiet becomes a rhythm I can finally live with. I wake before sunrise, make coffee, and watch the street come alive. The neighbors nod politely, pretending they don't know the gossip. But I see the looks, the pity, the curiosity. Let them wonder. I've learned silence can be power too. Online, my parents' smiles stretch wider with every post. New life in Texas. New beginnings. Blessed family. Every caption feels like a slap, dressed as celebration. They pose in front of a rented house, with palm trees behind them. Dad in sunglasses, Mom glowing beside him, two flashing his fake grin. I scroll through the photos without feeling anything. Not anger, not sadness, just a strange, hollow calm. Then the messages begin. Emma, your mother's having panic attacks. Call her. Dad's blood pressure is up. Don't be cruel. You're tearing this family apart. Each text feels like bait, carefully worded to twist guilt back into me. I stop replying after the third one. Their pain is their own now. My phone buzzes again. Jennifer. Team dinner tonight. Don't hide, we're picking you up. She doesn't ask, she just shows up. That's real family. At dinner, laughter spills across the table like sunlight. For a moment, I forget what betrayal tastes like. When I come home, the inbox flashes again. Mom's Facebook post has 50 comments. Praying for parents dealing with ungrateful children. Her followers send hearts, prayers, and sympathy she doesn't deserve. I type a reply, then delete it. No more defending myself. They've controlled the story long enough. Let them drown in their version. The next morning, I dress in something new. Not scrubs, not exhaustion, just me. A white blouse, navy pants, the pearl earrings Grandma left me. At the title office, I hand over the folder of documents. The clerk raises her eyebrows. You're the legal owner now. The attempted sale is void. The paper is warm under my fingers. Proof of everything I've endured. Later, at home, I pour myself a glass of wine and sit on the floor. The house smells faintly of paint and jasmine. My phone rings again, Dad's number. I let it go to voicemail. His voice is slurred, angry. You owe us, after everything we've done. I delete it without listening to the end. The night feels lighter afterward. Jennifer drops by with a blanket and smiles. Little by little, she says, handing it to me. I nod. Because she's right. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about peace. Each day I replace something they took. One curtain, one chair, one piece of myself. Their world is crumbling in Texas. Mine is just beginning here. For the first time, I don't feel broken. I feel free. The rain starts before sunset, steady and cold against the windows. I'm reading patient reports when the doorbell rings. The sound freezes me mid-breath. Through the peephole, 3 familiar shapes huddle under one umbrella. Mom, Dad, and 2. Soaked, shivering, desperate. For a moment, I consider pretending I'm not home. But that's the old version of me, the one who always opened the door. I unlock it slowly. Mom rushes forward first, mascara streaking down her face. Emma, thank God, we have nowhere else to go. Dad's eyes are red, his shoulders hunched. 2 looks angry instead of ashamed. They step into the warm air of the house that used to be theirs. He scans the walls, the furniture, the photos now replaced. His voice sharpens. You need to fix what you broke. I close the door behind them. The lock clicks again, my reminder of control. We stand in silence, the rain whispering outside. Mom begins softly. We raised you. We made sacrifices. I sit down in the armchair, calm and unmoved. You also robbed me, lied to me, and left me with nothing. Dad glares. We made mistakes. Families forgive. Families don't sell each other's homes. My words fall flat, heavy, final. I reach for the folder on the coffee table. Inside are receipts, loan payments, and one framed note. The paper with her handwriting. Thanks for fixing our credit, loser. I said it between us. No one speaks. Mom's hands tremble. That was a joke, she whispers. No, that was the truth, I answer. 2 shifts beside them, jaw tight. You tricked them into signing that deed. I protected myself, I say quietly. They had a choice. They just didn't think I'd use it. Dad's voice rises, sharp with pride and fear. You think you're better than us now. I meet his gaze. No, just free from you. Mom begins to cry again, louder this time. Where are we supposed to go? I point toward the umbrella still dripping on the rug. There's a room booked at the motel on Powell. 3 nights, paid in advance. Tu's face twists with disbelief. 3 nights, you're throwing your own parents out. I'm giving you what you gave me, I reply. Time to figure it out. They don't move. The rain slows outside, a hush settling over the house. I walk to the door and open it. You should leave before the storm starts again. Dad hesitates at the threshold. We're still your family, Emma. Biology isn't family, I say. Respect is. He looks away, shoulders sagging. One by one, they step out into the drizzle. I close the door and turn the lock. The silence that follows isn't empty. It's clean. I whisper into the quiet. I didn't destroy you. You did that yourselves. Then I breathe. For the first time, the house feels whole again. 1 year later, the garden is alive. Marigolds, zinnias, daisies, bright colors bursting through the soil. My hands are covered in dirt, warm and steady. The same hands that once trembled signing a deed now shape new beginnings. Mrs. Mai leans over the fence, smiling. Those flowers came back stronger than last spring. So did I answer, and it's true. The house no longer echoes, it hums. Light fills the studio that used to be Dad's office. Clay mugs line the table, each one imperfect and beautiful. I teach a nursing student named Lynn here on weekends. She reminds me of myself, tired, loyal, trying too hard to save everyone. I tell her, help others but not at the cost of yourself. She nods, still learning like I once was. The support group meets every Thursday in the living room. 8 women and 2 men share stories of financial control and survival. We sit in a circle, coffee cups in hand, silence between confessions. Each time someone says, but they're family, I feel the words hit deep. Family isn't who raises you. It's who helps you rise. I heard Mom and Dad separated 6 months ago. She's living in Uncle Greg's basement. Dad rents a studio apartment outside Houston. Tu's working odd jobs, still blaming everyone but himself. When Mara, his ex, sent me screenshots of their old texts, I saved them. Not out of spite, but as proof that truth always surfaces. Sometimes I read them and feel nothing. Not rage. Not sadness. Just distance, the clean kind. The kind that means you've healed. Jennifer visits every Sunday with her husband and a tray of lasagna. We talk about work, about laughter, about normal things. This house once held lies and manipulation. Now it holds warmth, noise, and peace. On the bookshelf sits a photo album I finally dared to open. Pictures of birthdays, Christmas mornings, and smiles that used to fool me. I don't hide them anymore. They're part of the story, not the end of it. At sunset, friends gather for a housewarming that's long overdue. We fill the rooms with laughter and mismatched furniture. Mrs. Mai brings her famous blueberry pie. Someone starts music, soft and bright. I look around and see what I've built, not alone, but on my own terms. Later, when the guests leave, I step outside to the porch swing. The night air smells of rain and soil, and something clean. I hold the house keys in my palm, cold metal, solid proof. This home isn't perfect, but it's mine. Every scar, every nail, every corner carries a lesson. The porch light glows against the darkness. The garden whispers in the wind. I whisper back, "We made it." And I finally believe it. Because some roots only grow after the storm. The evening sky burns gold as I sit on the porch swing. The house behind me glows soft, alive and safe. The wind moves through the garden, carrying the scent of marigolds. I close my eyes and listen to the quiet. No shouting, no guilt, no pretending. Just peace, earned one choice at a time. My phone buzzes once on the table beside me. Dad's name flashes across the screen, then fades when I don't answer. I let it go, like everything else I no longer owe. Inside, the clock ticks steady, a heartbeat of my own making. The same walls that once echoed loss now hum with belonging. I think of the girl who came home to emptiness. She thought she was abandoned. She was only being freed. The storm that once broke me became the soil I grew from. The key in my hand feels warm, not heavy. I whisper to the night, "I'm home." And for the first time, I mean it. Because this place, this peace, this life, it's mine. Completely mine.